Hey, what's going on with all my people out there? Everybody watching A&N and R&B. I'm here and in the building. What's going on, all my friends and everybody out there? Welcome to a brand new show because today is a special one. Yes, we're putting some of the best against the best today, and I got two of the three here to talk about what's going on tonight. Once again, my name is Karev, a Heritage Hip Hop, coming to you live on A&N and R&B. My man's is in here. What's up? Steve was good. But it's not only about me. I'm the semi-host. I'm not really here. It's really about the people who are the savants of R&B. And I'm going to bring them into the show one by one. Please, sir, introduce yourself to the people.
What's going on, everybody? It's Big A. Glad to be here. 1/3 of A&N R&B, or actually 1/4 for A&N R&B. Fragrance, and we'll set the mood with scent.
All right. And then, of course, R&B is nothing without smoothness, romance, and flavor. And we got somebody who brings part of that to the table. So please, sir, introduce yourself to the people.
Hello. It's your man Nas the Romantic with you. Hope y'all ready. We got a good one for you today.
Oh, yes, we do. Because anybody out there that likes R&B, we have two names we're going to talk about for this show are very significant when it comes to R&B culture. But last but not least, let us shout out other person who's a part of this show. Shout out to Nika LaDean, who's on location right now at a concert getting us footage and things that we're going to talk about for another show. So get off me. So now my cat is over here trying to tear me up, yo, trying to eat or something. But yeah, it's gonna be live, yo. So everybody out there that's watching, hit the like button. When you come in the room, you gotta hit the like button because you want to hit that algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, thank you for watching and supporting us. It was 3 people on here at one time, and y'all just all faded away. But they will be back. And if they're not here, shame on them. But you can share this right now. So please, everybody watching, share this video. Let everybody know we on, we out here, and we making noise. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, gentlemen, let's just show everybody what the topic is for tonight. Tonight is
Mm.
Mary J. Blige versus Toni Braxton.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason this topic came up is because on another podcast, there was an artist that said New York can't mess with Atlanta because Atlanta artistically is better than New York. New York is the birthplace, but Atlanta took it to a whole nother level with their talent. The artist said Jay-Z's only number one because he got money and he got Beyonce. That if Tupac was number one, he would have had more money and Beyonce would have been riding on Pac to the Jay-Z. Like I said, that's the multiverse. I can't tell you what happened if you stayed alive. You know what I'm saying? This artist said New York can't mess with Atlanta because New York don't even have an Usher.
Wow.
So who's going to battle Atlanta when it comes to Usher? Lastly, the artist said Atlanta would slay New York because New York has no singers. He said we got Toni Braxton and they got Mary J. Blige, and Mary J. Blige ain't nowhere near what Toni Braxton is.
Huh.
So that made me go, you know what, y'all? We need to talk about this. We need to talk a little bit about Mary J. Blige and Toni Braxton. This is an interesting conversation to me. So let's open it up. Everybody out there that's watching, like I said, please leave a comment. We're going to talk about not only this topic, but we're going to talk about some music related stuff that goes with it. Gentlemen, before we go into specifics, what do you feel? Let's start with Big A first. What do you feel? Does Atlanta smoke New York when it comes to music and talent?
Nah. They have nah.
Talk about it.
New York's mad big, bro. Just on the size of people that's out there, that's hungry, that's talented. Um, for instance, something as simple as the show Making a Band. Remember the Making Band show a long time ago? Diddy had up and coming acts that were trying to make it in the music industry. To show them, well, in particular, one of the rappers, E Ness, how hungry New York is, he went out to the street and pulled out one of the at the time one of the best lyricists that was in the streets at the time that wasn't technically signed, but he
And
was
that was
hungry.
Jay Mills, right?
And that was Jay
Shout
Mills,
out to Jay
exactly.
Mills.
That was Jay Mills, and Jay Mills put on a spectacular show. It's just showing you that there's talent out there. Just because it's not on mainstream, there is some talented people out there. Not taking anything away from Atlanta, because Atlanta has a lot of great talents out there, but New York definitely got some talent. Like you got, I mean, I even seen a dude with a little contraption singing, playing like two different instruments and getting down, and had a crowd of people and people dropping money. I mean, like you don't see that type of stuff down in Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta. You don't see that type of stuff. The thrive, the hunger, like the talent. Now, when you say talent, that goes across the board. I can't go with that. I'm sorry. That's just me. Maybe I'm biased because I'm up here in the tri-state. And I'll visit both areas, especially down in the South. But bro, man, and the South got some talent, bro. But nah, I'm sorry. I can't flex with that statement, bro. That's just me personally. I
So
can't,
you don't see
that's my
nobody.
views.
You don't see nobody getting it in by the MARTA down there at the MARTA. You ain't see nobody
Yo,
down
that's
there
the
getting
train
it in.
station.
Yeah, you don't see
Yo,
nobody getting it in,
yo, you smart. It's smarter when you ride the MARTA, yo. I remember all that, yo. Listen,
Shout out to the MARTA. You know what I mean?
to the MARTA, yo. You gotta be down there to know about the MARTA, boy.
So Nas, let me bring it to you because see, when we were in high school, that's when Outkast was first breaking out and the Dungeon Family first came out, right? And I remember, shout out to my man Eric. I told him I bought the Outkast album, and he was like, "Yo, you bought that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "It's good." I said, "Hell yeah." He was like, "Word." And he bought that album. Was like, "Yo, you're right. Outkast is nasty." You know what I'm saying? And that was before they expanded. You know what I'm saying? And Atlanta started blowing up, not only through Outkast, but LaFace Records and things like that.
Yeah.
And we started to see a plethora of things that was coming into the game that was new. Did Atlanta's upcoming rise at that time change how you heard and appreciated music, Nas?
No. No, I mean, not at all. I mean, talent is, you got to realize talent is everywhere. Back in the 90s, you had not just the people that are prominent and still remember the day, but you had like a billion people out there, man. You know what I mean? It's like I could give you artists right now that you'll be like, well, who was that? And you listen to a song I give you, and it's like, yo, that's a dope ass song. I ain't know about them. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a bunch of artists out there back in the day, man. It wasn't just Usher. It wasn't just Mary, Toni Braxton. It wasn't, it was like a hell of a lot of people out there back in the day. So you had a big variety to listen to in all genres.
Whoa. So check this out. The thing about Atlanta to me was I didn't hear about people coming out of Atlanta until Eric Sermon went down there. And I'm not saying we brought out Atlanta artists, but Eric Sermon going down there really brought Atlanta out to me. Because then after that, Jermaine Dupri blew up. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then my first recollection of Atlanta music or hip hop wise was Georgia's Most Wanted, Straight from the Deck. You know what I'm saying? That's what I remember from Atlanta. And I'm not saying Atlanta didn't have nobody, because when you go into the history of the blues and rhythm and soul and things like that, you have people from Atlanta who came from that territory. But since Atlanta has been at the head of the table when it comes to hip hop culture, we did get a lot of diversity that people from up here don't embrace. So Nas, let me see back to you. It was said in that podcast that people from Ghetto Mafia, shout out. So it was people who said that all New York rappers talk about is drugs and in the park bench. They said down south we didn't do that. We didn't have the drug culture in the park bench. Even Andre 3000 said on Two Dope Boys in the Cadillac, he said I ain't with that funk shit, that old punk shit that, you know, he said I ain't grew up on no park bench. It was just a nigga who having rhymes up in the apartments. You know, he was talking about how they were different. So Nas, let me ask you this. Do you think the sound that came out of the tri-state area, when I say tri-state, but New York, because that's what everybody know, do you think the sound that came out of New York was pigeonholed into one sound and it didn't allow diversity to come out of it? Or do you think it's something a little more?
As far as what? As far as hip hop or as far as R&B?
Music period from this area.
Nah, I mean a dope R&B track is a dope R&B track, man. You know what I mean?
And
Like
dope.
it's all in the beat, the voice, and the message of the song.
Yeah,
So
but
it's hard to really pigeonhole. You know, it's hard to really pigeonhole something like that.
yeah, but isn't every R&B song that came out with a that came out with somebody on it still talking about Shorty, I'm there for you anytime you need me. You know what I mean? And the dude running from the law and people think he's selling drugs and shit.
In
You
the
know what I'm
videos,
saying?
yeah. I mean,
That's
like
that's what I'm saying.
the videos, yeah, but like it's crazy because like I mentioned it before, like you'll have a song that's talking about something totally different. The video be just what you talk about, nigga running in slow motion from the cops, but he in love. You know what I'm saying? Like it was that.
So, A, to back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Nas is credited for giving like the sound of the culture with New York State of Mind. Jay-Z was the
Mhm.
number one rapper on the Billboard chart recently, and the person was talking said Andre 3000 should be ranked over Jay-Z because all Jay-Z talked about was money, and money is shallow. Because if that's all you judge somebody off of how much money they got, you're not really talking about their artistic integrity. He said
That's
Andre
true.
3000 rapped about so many things in so many ways that were creative that money, drugs, and money and money and money was all what the Jay-Z talked about. So what do you say in response to that when it comes to saying that Atlanta gave birth to the best because of subject matter, not only skill sets? What do you say to that?
Nah, I can't agree with that because you got plenty of eclectic rappers that diversified their sound and what their content was about. I mean, for instance, Tupac. Early on, Tupac wasn't rapping that thug life. He was rapping that X Clan. He was rapping about that positivity. And
Mhm.
groups like X Clan and Tribe Called Quest, like you had these groups that are in the forefront that were talking about conscious things. So like they can't get that because consciousness is universal. So you can't just say it came from there. That would be a lie. Like that's somebody when I hear somebody make statements like that, it sounds like somebody who's not completely sound in music and common sense in the essence. Because if somebody's just talking about that, you think it's really just going to be broadened. It's not going to be broadened at all. Like that's frivolous. Like you had the acts of like Busta Rhymes and Redman that didn't talk about the streets all the time or was talking about making what I mean money all the time. They diversified their sound. You know what I mean? You had these artists, so I can't. Peace. I can't agree with that statement at all. I mean, just like Nas said, good music, even you taking it to R&B, good music is good music. It's not going to be classified under one genre. Like you can diversify the sound of rap. Like look at the different sounds of rap now. You know what I mean? You have that up tempo rap, what's it called? Uh
Drill?
God, drill. There you go, drill music. Yeah, it's a whole different sound. It doesn't even sound like rap in the essence how you used to hear in rap. The beat is usually sped up, and you got somebody that's not even strong with cadence a lot, or they just have a strong chorus or hook. You know, which is completely different than what you used to have as a full song and a full project. But but answering your question again, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all because consciousness was there from the beginning. The early on rap songs were talking about what was going on in their neighborhoods. It wasn't
Right.
talking about selling drugs and all that. They were talking
Right.
about conscious things. And you go back far enough when you had the quintet singing rap songs, they were singing about what was going on in their lives. So, nah, you can't get that. You can't get that. Just because one genre had a strong base in an area doesn't mean everybody was talking about the same thing. Because you got the likes of KRS-One who still speak about positivity. You know what I mean, and bringing oneself up and being knowledgeable about things. You had rappers like Master Ace that's out there. I mean, you could just keep naming all these good artists
So
that are from up here.
So look at Mr. McCaster. He said to out of towners, New Yorkers all sound the same. So I want to take this off of hip hop because maybe y'all could come and join me on Heritage Hip Hop, and we'll do an Andre 3000 versus Pharoah Monch type of conversation.
There you go.
That's not what today is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Today's conversation is all about the same podcaster having a show, and this came up: Mary J. Blige versus Toni Braxton. Gentlemen, it's time for us to take off our hip hop hats and let's put some music, some R&B music on. So with that being said, how did you get introduced to Mary J. Blige, and how has her career affected how you appreciated music? Nas, take that one.
Mary J. Blige. It was 1992?
Maybe.
Real Love?
92. Yeah.
Real Love came out. First hit single off the 411 album. That was the joint. That was the anthem.
It was?
That was the anthem, man. You know what I mean? After that, you had next album? My Life.
Okay.
My Life, like you see how it's like you said before, the rap, they go by what's going on in their lifetime right now. Like in My Life, you hear, if you look at My Life, you can see what I see, like what she's going through and stuff like that. I just want to be happy. Then you go to Share My World. 1997, which is my favorite album from Mary J. Blige. That was like one of the dopest albums. Like you see there, like you see her, like you basically see her life in transition from album to album. You know what I mean? From I'm not happy to I'm happy and so on and so forth to where she's at right now. So,
So you saw the scale of her life as that's what made you appreciate her, that you saw the scale of her life throughout her career.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, how about you? How did you get introduced to Mary J. Blige, and what has her music done to help you appreciate music or her more?
Wow. I got introduced to her through hearing her with Biggie. What's the 411? Well, what's the 411? You know what I mean? And really, the show, Grand Poobah.
Yes, Grand Poobah, yeah.
But I thought I heard a mix with Biggie on that.
Nah, I think the song she did with Big was the You Don't Have to Worry remix.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I swore I heard Mr. C mix something with Biggie rapping over What's the 411. Yeah, Mr. C.
I gotta find out.
Yeah. But anyway, I heard that song. I heard Share My World. One of my favorite tracks was Be Happy. That boom boom boom. That was originally for Tracy Lee. That beat. I know some hip hop, information, but that beat was originally taken from Tracy Lee. And that was actually turned into an R&B song. That beat actually was turned into that her famous track. But I was introduced to her through hip hop, and hip hop always had me, lingering to hearing more and more about Mary J. And it always, unfortunately, seemed like the worse things were in her private life, the better the sound of music came out. Like, and when she started having, like, I hate to say it, when things were good in her life, the music ended up going subpar. Like the music started going subpar. But soon things started getting bad, boy. She was in that booth, she was getting it, and everybody was like, "Yes!" Sorry to hear the Mary's got broken a relationship, but she got new music, baby. And it's ignorant, but that's how it was. That's
why I always say pain is universal, but love is relative. Because whenever somebody goes through pain, everybody can relate to it. But you know what? Mary J. Blige to me is the rapper who couldn't rap but could sing her ass off. Because all her beats were hip hop beats.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? And what made me fall for Mary J. Blige was when I saw her on Video Music Box singing. Ralph McDaniels just gave her the mic, let her freestyle. And instead of doing a typical rap or saying, yo, put your hands in the air, whatever, she just vocalized. And she was like, how some people, I say some people can't rap, they can't sing, they scream. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? But she was like really doing it, and it was like you felt it in your heart or in your spirit, like you moved a little bit, like, damn, she getting it. And a lot of people say Mary J. Blige can't sing. Well, to me, y'all, I like her voice. So she can sing. Shout out to Star and Buck Wild who tried to kill her, but guess what? She survived y'all dumbasses, didn't she? I love Mary J. Blige. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what no one say about her. Mary J. Blige is dope to me. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna talk about my favorite songs by her yet, but I'm gonna say this. The only person who can have a gripe with Mary J. Blige is Miss Jones. All right. And we could talk about that if y'all want to. Miss Jones kind of came out with that style first, rhyming over the hip-hop beat. I mean, singing over the hip-hop beats. Dougie
Sugar
Fresh,
Hill.
Where I Want to Be. Not even before that, the Where I Want to Be song. Miss Jones is the truth. Love Miss Jones.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my little boyhood crushes, like little Alicia Fisher. Miss Jones, yo. But I don't know what happened with her. You can hear her story on other podcasts. We talk about Diddy and Uptown Records and what happened with her and how Mary J. Blige took her style and went with it. Whatever. I don't know about all that. I just know what people say. But I will tell you this. Miss Jones started something. Mary J. Blige took the baton and she ran with it, because if it wasn't for Mary J. Blige, more than half of the remixes that we hear with an R&B person with somebody rhyming on the song would never have happened. Here's my proof. Shout out to my dude, yo. He said he squeezed Miss Jones' ass back in the day. All right, yo. Living the dream, brother.
Salute.
Yeah, living the dream. But check this out. The first R&B song to have a hip-hop artist on it was Jody Watley featuring Rakim, Friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know that song? Listen to that
wow.
song and then listen to how Mary J. Blige took the baton and ran with it. Every R&B singer that has a rapper on their song needs to give Mary J. Blige a check because they bit her whole style. And this woman was doing songs for free for people. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, we all have an appreciation for Mary. We see what happened with her personal life and how the music came out. I personally apologize to Mary for anybody who hurt you, but I know you don't apologize for them checks. You know what I'm saying? So he said no, it was Shaka Khan and Melly Mel. They did an official song together. Because if they did, and I could be wrong, because the way I got my history, it said Jody Watley and he said, I feel for you. I feel for you came out before Friends. Hey, we'll do some history. If I'm wrong, I don't mind being wrong.
I feel for you.
I don't mind being wrong.
Because I love you. Yeah, that's my job.
All right, so look, I ain't know Melly Mel rapped on it. I just heard Shaka Khan, could you feel me, Shaka Khan? We're gonna be all you want to be Shaka. That's not really a rap. That was more like a bridge.
Yeah, that's like a ad lib for the song.
Yeah, that's not really a rap. He didn't rap a verse on it. But like I said, yo, if I'm wrong, let's do the history and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my man Steve for the information. You know what I mean? What did he say? He said, nah, he rapped. Okay, well, hey, let's look into it. And if you're right, I give you all the credit. Salute. But now, Toni Braxton. Let me tell y'all something about Toni Braxton. I found out about Toni Braxton through the Boomerang soundtrack. But maybe these gentlemen can tell you something more. So, Nas, why don't you? No, I started with you. Hey, why don't you take it over? When did you first get introduced to Toni Braxton? And how did she help you appreciate music and your ear and when it comes to music?
I got introduced to Toni Braxton through the Boomerang soundtrack because of the biggest song on there was The End of the Road. But one of the other songs that was on there that was just like on there, you just heard this lady singing. I was like, who is this? Like you know what I mean? Like, because you had heavy hitters on that album. You had heavy hitters on that album, who ended up being very legendary. But like I said, the biggest song off that album was End of the Road. At that time, when that movie came out, that was literally the biggest song, and which also catapulted Boyz II Men into the super mainstream. They were already doing good from their Cooley High album, their first album. But after they did that, the End of the Road on there, boy, and that song ended up being on their second album, too. Yeah. So I heard her on that album. And then I remember hearing another song, actually quite a few songs that she came out with that were hits. I wasn't really a big Toni Braxton fan. I thought she was gorgeous. I really thought she was like, I thought she was beautiful, bro. Like I remember seeing her in a video for the first time on BET. And I was like, oh, that's what she looked like? I was like, oh, okay, I'm a real fan now. But the one song that I actually love from her that stuck out is the remix she did with Red and Meth. her singing on the hook, like
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
get so that was the first time I ever heard her do anything that was R&B, but it was more like segue like pop or not or like not so like hardcore R&B, but it was more like pop, even though that's hip hop, but it's still like kind of popish the way she
Yeah.
was singing like that. I never thought I would hear her say anything like, you know what I mean, in that essence, because everything she sung up into that point was real methodic, melodies
Yeah.
and different riffs, different bridges. So that was different from how the sound I was used to hearing from her. And I know from that point on, like I really checked on her because I thought it was cool because I never thought she would even do an album with, well, not an album, but a song with hip hop, with hip hoppers like that. Um, and it was pretty dope, man. I was really turned out by her sound because I didn't think she had it in her because she had those strong vocals. They were at one point when she first came out. I remember they were comparing her to Whitney Houston because of her strong sound and the way she was able to carry the notes. No, I heard just check Wendy Williams on
Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about
98.7.
Wendy Williams because she always hated on Whitney Houston. So forget Wendy Williams.
Okay,
We
all
ain't doing
right,
that.
all
But
right.
look, let Nas jump up in here. So Nas, what about you and Tony Braxton?
All
What
right.
you?
I think same thing to everybody else. That was an introduction into the R&B game. It was the Boomerang soundtrack. Boomerang soundtrack, like you said, Boys Men in the Role was like one of the top tracks on the album, but they were more established. For her to come out with "Give You My Heart" by Babyface,
Uh-huh.
right, and then after that, "Love Should Have Brought You Home" was in the heavy rotation.
Uh-huh.
Was a heavy rotation. Then to segue that into her album, like I love her voice because her voice kind of reminded me of Anita Baker in a way.
Ooh,
So I
okay,
wouldn't even I
yeah.
wouldn't even really I wouldn't even really compare her to Whitney Houston because her and Anita Baker's voice are kind of similar. And
Yeah.
she has that her songs are so sensual and her voice is so smooth. It's amazing, man. Like man, 7 whole days, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh man, that's the jam right there. Not a hurt from you.
word. Yeah, her first album is a classic. Her first album in itself is a classic. And the song you were talking about was the How High remix.
Yeah,
Or How
yeah,
High Part
yeah,
Two with Red
yeah.
and Meth. That was dope in
Uh,
itself. Because like you said,
mm-hmm.
if you wouldn't really see her, you couldn't see her really doing that at the time because her songs were so hardcore R&B.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like it showed the versatility, it showed her versatility right there. And like I've been in
Mm-hmm.
love with her since the beginning, man. Like she's the one. She's one of them.
I told you when
Definitely.
I saw her, I was like, damn, I'm a
Yeah,
fan now.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yo,
man.
sure. So, uh, just to pick up everybody, shout out to Steve who chimed in. I want to just give a revision. Shaka Khan and Melly Mel came out in 1984. Jody Watley and Rakim came out in 1989. So, shout out to you for having that information and thank you.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate
yeah.
you. So, let us continue. My appreciation for Toni Braxton, like we said, Boomerang. She was the star of that soundtrack.
Right.
I don't care about Boys to Men, TLC, whatever, yo. Toni Braxton was the star of the Boomerang soundtrack because
I
that
agree.
was the freshest new voice that you heard on there.
It was.
And to go toe to toe with
Mhm.
Babyface for best voice on a song, come on, that's big, yo. And I
And I
mean,
think that was her first song. Not this, but I think that was like her first song, right?
Yeah, I was a first song.
That's
and
her
that was the
first single.
first song on the damn soundtrack.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
the sound.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
came in, and I mean, once again, that was the opening up of Atlanta's hit sound to the world because that was LaFace Records,
Right.
L.A. Babyface, Pebbles, all of them. That was them coming
Mhm.
out to the world and bringing something new to the game. Because remember, TLC is an Atlanta-based art group. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They traveled down there and came out from there. Boys the Men is from Philly, but LaFace kind of, and I mean, it was different. It showed something new because while New York was running with the hip hop sound, new, refreshing sounds came from the South.
Right.
So Toni Braxton for me is different because that's one of the first singers I actually loved her voice and loved her whole sound. Shout out to Columbia House, 15 CDs for a penny, because that's how I got her
bringing it back.
Yeah,
Columbia House. Wow,
that's how I got that album. So, on one of like the 17 phone numbers and emails I use, whatever, for Columbia House. That's how I helped build my CD collection, which was a classic. Yeah, I mean, and I loved Toni Braxton's first album, and we're gonna talk about our favorite songs when it comes to Toni Braxton in a minute. You know what I'm saying? But we don't want to leave out a female perspective when it comes to Toni Braxton and Mary J. Blige. So as we start the comparison, ladies and gentlemen, our co-host Nika LaDean, she sent in a video and she wanted us to get her take on the subject. So Nika, let everybody know how you feel.
All right, y'all, I told you would see me again. I could not just let these dudes, wherever they are, I couldn't let them just comment on the works of these women, two different voices, two different, almost different styles of music, without giving you all of this divine energy of mine, this divine feminine energy of mine. So here is my input. When it comes to Mary J, I'm going to start off with Mary J. Mary J, her content is beautifully written. The subject matter is very prominent. It is what we need to hear. It's what goes through all, especially as women. As women, most of the stuff that Mary J talks about in her music is what we always think about anyway, right? Whether it's the good stuff, whether it's the bad stuff. I know people have their opinion about they want sad Mary or they want happy Mary. For me, I just like Mary. I like the content of her music. However, y'all gonna kill me. Y'all might not like this. Vocally, Mary just doesn't do it for me. I think Mary is not the Mary that she used to be when she first came out. And even when she first came out, she was kind of struggling vocally. I'm not a big fan of Mary's vocals. Now, Toni Braxton, complete opposite. I love Toni's vocals. Anybody who has ever heard me talk, you'll hear me say that Toni Braxton is in my top 10 vocalists. Her voice is just one to be reckoned with for our generation, because you get like the pitches and the tones of Anita Baker, and this little person. I mean, she's like really short, but I think the content is kind of, I mean, it's relevant, don't get me wrong, but it's not Mary J's content. So you've got two totally different different circumstances battling against each other right here. I cannot say that I like one more than the other because of that. So I don't have an opinion about that, but I'm not going to say who won. There's no winning in this. Anybody, and not only that, but I want y'all to remember something. I'm an artist. And so as an artist, it's never a competition for me. I don't feel like I have to compete against anybody else. I'm my own competition. So I'm sure these ladies feel the same way. Toni Braxton doesn't wake up in the morning and say, am I better than Mary J. Blige? And Mary J. Blige doesn't wake up in the morning and say, oh my God, I'm better than Toni Braxton. So it's not a competition, but I can't choose between the two because of that. So yeah, anyway, vocally, I would choose, if I had to choose vocally, I would choose Toni. If I had to choose content wise, I would choose Mary. But two totally different spectrums, and you guys chose two beautiful women to I guess to enlighten us in their music. So you're gonna hear from me again. I promise this is not it. This is not it for me. You're gonna hear from me at least one more time. All right, bye.
Well, how was it? What did you think about her take? Hey, how you feel about what she said?
I mean, I was kind of shocked when she said that she felt like Mary J couldn't sing. I was like, what? Like, I I mean, damn, Nika. Like, damn. That's all I gotta say, damn. But I mean, it's preference. When you ask see, this is the type of things people gotta realize. When you ask these type of questions, these questions bring on different answers and perspectives. So you have to respect everybody's perspective, regardless of how you feel about whatever artist it is. You're gonna have some people that's gonna love them, and some people who's not gonna love them at all. And just like we seen, like she specifically said she felt that way about Mary J's vocals. On the flip side, she felt the total opposite about Toni Braxton. So that's her opinion, and she, what, she has the right to have her opinion, like we have the right to have our opinion, and that's why we're all here right now.
All right. So now, so about you, how you feel about what she said?
She kind of hit on the button, man. Like, I wouldn't agree with her saying that Mary J. Blige can't sing, because this is the same woman that came with "We Are Lovers Through and Through." Then she goes down to "Baby, there's no need to tell." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Word.
she has the range. She got the range. So I wouldn't say she's not a strong singer. Um, I prefer Tony's voice over hers. But like I said, this whole thing we're doing right here, it is subjective, because you could go by who has the better catalog or who has the better voice. You know what I'm saying? And it could go either way. So, it was some points I agree with, some points, I disagree with.
All right, so let's flesh it out. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into one of our segments on the show, which is Big A's aroma of the week.
Okay.
Now, Big A, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
We're going to segue this into your shine. You have a young lady coming to the crib or to the house. We're not babies. They come to the house, right?
Here you go.
And you have Mary J. Blige on, or you have Toni Braxton on. How do you set the mood depending on who's singing the song for the woman of your choice that night?
More than likely, I'm gonna put some Toni Braxton. I want to keep the mood where it's not too down, not too up, but it's like right there, because Toni's got that music that can do it like that. She's got those R&B joints where you can put on that can be party joints, or just laid back, mellow, dramatic, vocalized joints. So that's who I actually play. And since I picked Toni, I would go with Latifah's Rogue, which is their clone of Bakaru 540. And anybody who's ever heard of Bakaru 540, they know that's top notch cologne. This is one of the closest ones you can get closer to Bakaru 540. This is Latifah Rogue. Now, I said that saying that if I had Toni Braxton on. Now, if I had some Mary J on, you're gonna have them soulful joints, you're gonna have them party joints, you're gonna have them real in the mood joints. I go right here with Montel with Honey Oud. I don't know if y'all can see that. There you go, Honey Oud by Montel. Very high-end cologne company. This right here also sets the mood. Spray a little bit of that on. You gotta spray a lot because it's very potent, and it lasts to up about, I believe this lasts about 10 hours. So, hit them good spots. You know what I mean? You're good, just like Rogue. If you're trying to get them to get that super smell, that sniff, you get that sniff on the neck. This right here is also a good one too. But as far as for Mary J, we're gonna get that Honey Oud. We're gonna really reel them in with Mary J in the back, and that's smelling good like that. And that's Big A's aroma of the week.
All right, everybody. So remember, he just said if you're going with Toni Braxton, you're gonna go with something smooth and sensual. But if you're going with Mary J. Blige, you're gonna have something a little more partyish, a little more uppity. You wanna set the tone a little differently. So I got one more question before you leave with the how you're setting the mood with the aroma of the week. How important is it to match your scent with the artist when you set the mood to you?
Oh, it's imperative. You got to be able to match your scent You don't want to have something that's very boisterous on you. You don't want to have nothing that's too loud, and you want somebody to be close to you. You want to make sure that you're gonna have something that's gonna be which I call sniff worthy, where they and they get off here with you. Like, girl, stop playing. You better stop playing. We want something like that on. Now that's always, something to set the mood. And these two right here, when I say these two here are mood setters, they are definitely mood setters. I brought out two this week. Since we got a battle going on. So, you want this, in close sniff right here. This is Rogue by Latifah. Or if you want to get a little bit more, reel them in, this is, I don't know if you can see, Honey Oud by Montal.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, maybe that'll help you with the battle that we have, what a so-called battle that we have. I want to bring it to my man Nas real fast. Nas, we're going to put you up there. Now, Nas doesn't do the aroma, ladies and gentlemen. Nas does Wasted Potential, where he talks about songs from the artist that, if given some light, could have been smash hits in his opinion. So, Nas, give me one song by Toni Braxton and give me one song from Mary J. Blige. What do you think was Wasted Potential when it comes from their catalogs?
I'm gonna start off with Mary J. And everybody should know this one, man. It's from the 1997 Share My World album. And that song is Share My World, the title track. Now, this is the reason why I call this one Wasted Potential, because everybody knows this song. Everybody knows this song. You can be down the street playing that song, and you hear, bro, like, no, that's my jam right there. Like, that's like the go-to joint on the album, even though you have hits like I Can Love You, Everything. Like, when you hear the piano, like, when you hear that, you know what song it is. You know that's Share My World coming on. You know what I'm saying? And like, as a man, who doesn't want to hear from a woman, boy, if you can stay, I always make sure that you look to see a brighter day, or we gonna have some good times. You know what I'm saying? Like, who doesn't want to hear that reassurance from a woman? As far as Toni Braxton, it's a song off her first album called I Belong to You. And deviating from, because I usually do the slow jams. I love a good ballad, but this one is a up tempo track. This like like, if you hear it today, like it just sounds so fast tempo 90s. It's like a one of those like chilling feel good type jams. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't remember most of the lyrics, but like the beat that have you vibing. Like, that's one of them beats you be like I know some of y'all ladies like to listen to the radio when y'all cleaning, you jam out to that, or just like like when you riding out in your car and you put that jam on, it's like you could vibe to it. Like, that's such a dope song. And it never got the play it was supposed to get from that first album, because like it was overshadowed by How Many Ways, 7 Whole Nights. It was overshadowed by those songs, and they never brought that out. But it was a dope track on the album that I felt that should have got the more attention than what it did. Yep.
Shout out to Nas for that, because he put out some songs that maybe you haven't listened to in a while, and maybe you would like to revisit. So this is Karev, a Heritage Hip Hop right now, and I'm going to tell y'all, I don't listen to their albums. I don't listen to their music like that. And it's not that I don't like them or nothing like that. This is not my mood. But I will tell you this. Out of both of them, I think the one album out of all of them, or both artists that I like the most, is Toni Braxton's first album. That album is a classic. I'm talking like Anita Baker Rapture, classic. And if you watch this show, A&N R&B, every Sunday at 8 p.m., or you catch the streams on whatever you stream your podcast, I've asked this question. In R&B, do people battle like hip-hop when they say how many classic albums does somebody have? And these gentlemen told me yes. So, hot seat question. Nas, how many classic albums does Mary J. Blige have? And how many classic albums does Toni Braxton have?
Ooh.
That's a hard question.
Well, I just mentioned the first three.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the show. So
Mary has 3 for off the rip to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will say Tony's first 2.
All right. Hey, how about you?
How many does each have? Classic hits.
Classic
Wow,
album. Classic
classic
album.
albums.
Do y'all want to go through the catalogs or you want to
I
just
I'm gonna say for me personally, because it's just an objective question
Right.
because it's it's on somebody's views, and then you have to actually like what are you measuring the hit classic albums with? So we haven't gone into depth with all that. So just off the riff, I'm gonna say Mary has at least two that I consider classic, like solid classics that anybody in any age bracket would agree, and that's why I would say boldly say that. And then I would say Tony Braxton has one. I mean like a very very solid, super solid album that um any just about any age group demographics would enjoy. Man, that's how I feel. Um, you know, other people may feel different, but
Mm.
just that's my perspective on it.
You know what?
yeah.
Not to interrupt you. I think with this one right here, I think with this battle between these two women, like you would have to go by songs instead of albums
Yes, yes.
because like with R&B, even with hip hop, you got to count the ones that they did on the soundtracks too.
Mm-hmm.
And they both had like, well, Toni Braxton, she started on the movie soundtrack,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Mary has her joints too, because "Not Gonna Cry" is a instant classic.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have "Let It Go" and "Waiting to Exhale" by Toni Braxton.
You got
Like you
I'm
like
going down. The rendition
going
she
down.
did. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Matter
she
of fact,
overjoyed. That's another
mhm.
rendition she did.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like it's a lot of hits. Like we
yeah,
can now we start naming hits. We can go for hits because
yeah.
they
We'll
both
go.
got hits. They
We'll
both
be here
got a
all night.
lot of hits. Yeah, a
But there's
lot of
like,
hits.
but it's like Nika said, it's two kind of different genres. I mean, not different genres, but two different types of musicals. Like one, you have Mary J. Blige, who's been dubbed the queen of hip hop soul. Toni Braxton's been dubbed the queen of sexy and sensual music. You know what I'm saying? So it's two types of artists in the R&B genre. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, this whole battle is like very subjective. It goes by what you like. You might like the fast joints. You might be like me, who's more partial to ballads and slow jams. So that might affect the way this battle might the outcome of the battle is for you. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I agree.
Well, I
Yeah.
will say this. Both women are assured a place in the Hall of Fame of music, period.
I agree.
Because they have crossed genres. They have crossed how we look at music, hear music, and even see music. Like I said, Mary
Hmm.
J. Blige doing hip hop and bringing hip hop to another level in the mainstream is big. I mean, let's check it out. Mary J. Blige brought Grand Pooba to the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Most people
Hmm.
wasn't really messing with Grand Pooba back then. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Of course, her songs with Nas are legendary. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah,
Love is all we need and all that.
yeah.
But then look what she did. Mary J. Blige was able to do with Lil Kim. I Can Love You. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much that she's done. But then let's go to Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton brought back sexy with a purpose, not just singing to sound good. You see what I'm saying? And she showed her range when we saw her voice with Redman and Method Man. She didn't really sing a lot in that song,
Nah,
but
Yeah,
she fit perfectly
perfectly in that
yeah,
in
song.
the song.
yeah.
Even when she did the song with Baby from Cash Money, Baby, you
Hmm.
can do it. Take your time, do it right. Her voice sounded perfect though.
That was
Now,
her boo too, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But whether you liked him or not, when it came to the song, and then when then look, they both got into acting. They both were able to branch out and show that
Right.
they are staples, not only in one genre or one situation of entertainment. They are both queens in their rights. And I mean queen with a double E, not an EAN, because people starting to do that movement right now, and we ain't with that. we're gonna crown those women as being greats within the genre. So, ladies and gentlemen, now it's your time to chime in. Who do you pick the most? My man Steve said, in my opinion, Toni Braxton has a more universal appeal. Hey, maybe so. But come on, y'all gotta make this fun. Y'all gotta pick. Who y'all going with? Nas. On a day where you in your car, who is your I'm not saying who's better or whatever. Who's your go-to? Are you gonna listen to Mary J. Blige over Toni Braxton or vice versa?
Depends on my mood. Depends on my mood, man. All right. See, if I'm just cruising and chilling, I probably put on Toni.
Toni Braxton.
Yeah, but if I'm on my, it's because like I said, it's subjective. If I'm on my hip hop, then like it's gonna be Married with Meth.
Okay, so
You know what I mean?
Mary gonna do it.
I'm gonna go with Toni on this one.
All right. So Big A, how about you?
Let me tell you the story.
Uh-oh.
I once I once when I was in college at HBCU, Norfolk State University.
Shout out to HBCUs.
I remember this was my freshman year, and I would take the bus from Virginia back to Jersey, where I live, where I'm from, and I would listen to music, and I would have a CD book. Shout out to the CD books that a lot of youngsters may not understand how valuable that was at the time. I would travel with my CD book and my book bag and my CD Walkman, and I would listen to music. And I can thoroughly say I was definitely turned on by Mary J. and listened to her while I travel a 6 to 8 hour bus ride from Norfolk, Virginia to Newark, New Jersey. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, I've listened to Toni Braxton's, a couple of her albums. They didn't make the trip. I ended up switching up because I like Nas said, it's mood setting music. And I feel like if I'm going to be traveling, whether I'm driving or whether I'm in a vehicle, I'm just riding to get to one point A to point B. Mary J, 9 times out of 10 is going to win it because she has the eclectic sound that's a little bit more mainstream, and her hits a little bit more popish because they tend to be a little bit more hip hopish. So, as Nas said, if I want that up tempo, I personally, I'm gonna ride with Mary. I'm gonna have Mary because she's got those joints that have you, feeling good and you can be in your mood. Then if you got a shorty with you, you got you a lady, whatever, you could throw on the old joints, or you could put Toni Braxton on. You know what I mean? You really set it off. Put Toni on, make sure you just like that Shrey and you smelling good. You know what I mean? So there you go. That's my answer.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a pick because, like I said, I don't really listen to the music like that. So I don't think I will be good for that part of the conversation. But what I will say is we always build and send y'all off with something good. So, song of the week. Instead of giving them one song, let's do top 3 songs from Mary J. Blige and Toni Braxton from each of us. And let people know what we like about them in their range within our field. So, Big A, what's your top 3 Mary and what's your top 3 Toni?
My top 3 Mary, number 1 would be Happy, Be Happy. Number 2 would be the song with her and Meth, You're All I Need. That right there was like one of the biggest hits during the 90s era. Not even just that year, that era. And number 3, trying to think of the name of the song, name of the title of the song. If you look through my eyes, you see what I've seen. My life. Yeah, that joint right there. That's the top 3 I can actually pick where you can hear her range. You can hear the difference in her range, and she's got plenty of hits, man. I mean, just those 3 are the ones that come off top of my head.
Your favorite 3, and go ahead.
My top of my head.
What's your Toni?
Toni. Oh man, the one she had with Red and Meth, the How High remix is still one of my favorites to hear her on it because it's just so different than what I'm so used to hearing her.
Yeah.
Of course, "Unbreak My Heart" to what I think is one of her biggest hits. Um, "Unbreak My Heart" is one of those songs like um and the song "You Mean the World to Me."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
that song right there, man, because that was one of those songs that if you didn't get introduced to her through the Boomerang soundtrack, "You Mean the World to Me" was something that was just like that was her next joint that you heard in rotation, and when you heard it, you knew who it was because her voice is so distinct. She has
Yep.
that like sound like you said, Anita Baker has that sound when they sing, and "You Mean the World to Me" was one of those songs. So that's my top three from Mary and as well as Tony.
All right, Nas, how about you? You start from Tony this time. What's your top 3 Tony Braxton
All
songs?
right. Well, top three from Tony is "Give You My Heart" off the Boomerang soundtrack. Um, Big A said my other one, man. You mean World Sweet? So I'm gonna go with
Oh man.
I'm gonna go with "Breathe Again."
Ah,
"Breathe Again," and the last one is "How Many Ways."
okay. Oh, you
How many
going
ways? How
B
many
side?
ways is a dope song, yo? How many ways, yo? That's my joint right there, yo.
Okay.
Um,
Mary. That's
Mary.
all? Mary. Okay.
You want me to go? Mary. The first one was from the Weights Potential, man. That's my all time favorite jam for her. Is, "Share My World."
Mm.
"Share My World." A song called "Mary's Joint" from the second album. From the second album. And my third one from her is "Natural Woman."
Mm.
She did a rendition of "Natural Woman" from the New York Undercover soundtrack.
Oh wow.
Dope.
Wow.
And like when I heard that, and I was wondering why like they didn't have her sing that. They had Ariana Grande sing that instead of her because her rendition of "Natural Woman" was so good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But those are the three I got from Mary.
All right, that's dope. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I don't know their albums, but I could give you some songs. And I pulled up my list. So my 3 Tony Braxton songs are "Unbreak My Heart." I love that song. Really. That's something that really, it is what it is. "Love Should Have
Mm.
Brought You Home."
Yeah.
One of my
Mm.
favorite ones. And let me see. That's another one I like. "7 Whole Days" was dope too to me. I like that
Yeah.
song a lot. That was dope. Mary J. Blige. My favorite Mary song of all time is "Friend of Mine." That Monday, if one day friend of mine, Tuesday, you went away,
Oh yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah, yeah,
Seven
I
yeah,
seven
off the
yeah,
"Share My World" soundtrack. Yeah,
I
7 days. Yeah,
love
yeah,
7 days.
that
Yeah.
one
yeah,
song right there.
yeah.
Finished. That's me. Second, "I Love You" remix with Smith and Wesson. I
Dope,
love
dope.
that remix.
Yeah,
That's way
Oh
beyond
shoot.
for me, right there. That's one of them
Wow.
songs that are like that's like crazy. That when you hear that piano,
yeah.
gone. And last but not least, the rendition she did an "Overjoyed" tribute to Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, I knew you was
I
gonna
Right.
say that.
Yeah,
love that
I knew
song.
you was gonna say
yeah.
that.
So
I got that joint, yo.
if I had to pick between the two, I'm biased because I love hip hop more, and Mary has more of a hip hop sound. So that's me. But what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Do you like Mary J. Blige or Tony Braxton better? And what songs do you like of them? Let us know in the comments. Since if you're watching this on YouTube, the comments are below. Like, share, subscribe, all that. Hit the like button, please, but make sure you comment and let us know what is your favorite Mary J. Blige, Tony Braxton song, and who do you choose more than anything else? Number one. Number two, if you're streaming this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Anchor.fm, or wherever you stream, we're going to put a poll under this to say, and you tell us, who do you like better? Toni Braxton, Mary J. Blige, or what's your favorite song from them? This has been a pleasure doing this with y'all tonight. And guess what? We may do it again. If you would like to see us talk about 2 other artists, we can do that. Because guess what? One of the funniest verses I seen somebody talk about was Rick James versus Bobby Brown. If y'all really want to go there,
oh hell
we
no,
can do that.
Rick James, bitch.
No.
bring out the cocaine, nigga.
Fuck your couch.
Hey, but for everybody out there that's watching, once again, thank you very much. If you want to see more of this show, you can subscribe to heritagehiphop.com. This is the home of A&N R&B, Heritage Hip Hop itself, the podcast. Join us at heritagehiphop.com. Subscribe. You can also follow Heritage Hip Hop at Heritage Hip Hop on all social media. You can follow A&N R&B on IG at ANN on R&B. Make sure you like that page and follow us there as well. New things will be coming. And I'm telling you, if you know any R&B singers or producers, we are waiting for you. Come on down, contact us through the IG page, or you can contact me at Heritage Hip Hop, and we'll book you on the show. And if anybody has any merch, y'all want some promotion, you can hit us. See, I got a hat on, right? Well, I have a clothing line that's going to be giving us stuff, so we'll have something on in the show. And if you want to promote anything, hey, paid promotions are here. Y'all can come on. This man right here, Big A, we trying to get him to get on Scentbird. I don't know what's taking him so long, but he come all this goddamn cologne. They need to be paying him. You know what I'm saying? So he's smirking. Yeah, get on your shit. You want to get your money? No. And this dude right here, I don't know how I'm pointing because I can't see it. This guy, not big Nas over here. Nas the romantic. Listen, yo, anybody out there, my man loves romance. So if you want to bring us out and do a show somewhere where you are, all you gotta do is hit him, and we'll come out. As y'all see, there's the tags for the social media on IG. Let us know. So before we get out of here, shout out to Nika LaDean once again on location, bringing us some footage. You know what I'm saying? We don't have any last words from her, but she says she will be back. So I guess that's her last word.
That's
so
her last word. Word.
So Big A, any last words before we get out of here?
Something as simple as my mom always told me: if you want friends, you got to show yourself to be friendly. So just be friends. And you know what? Do unto others as you like to be done unto you. That's what my mom taught me as a little boy. Remember that.
Okay, Nas, you got any last words?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is one that's special, man. I wanted to give a shout out to my grandmother and my cousin, both birthdays today. All right. Nana.
Grandma.
Yep. Nana, I love you. I love you. Man, you always on my heart, Nana. So, man, I'm so glad the Most High like brought you to see a 96th birthday today, man. I love you.
Wow.
I love you, love you, love you, love you. I can't say it much, man. Even though I'm not in your presence all the time, you're always a matter of my heart, man. And I love you to death. Happy birthday, Nana. Happy birthday, Mira. Your daughters are so cute, man. I was glad to see y'all today. It warmed my heart to see all y'all, man. I love you. Happy birthday, Nana. All right.
Hey, you know how special it's gonna be when she hears this.
Word.
Yeah, I'm hoping she see it. Yeah,
see it, hear it, make it happen. Send it to us. Give it to your mom and send it to her. Shout out to Mom Duke as well. Yeah. So my last message for everybody out here before we close the show is thank you for joining us on this. This broadcast is brought to you by heritagehiphop.com, and more so enjoy the music. Because a lot of us have arguments over who's the GOAT, who's the best, or whoever. That's subjective, and let's just enjoy the music. We argue over LeBron and Michael Jordan. We argue over Sam Cooke and Marvin Gaye, Jay-Z and Nas, Biggie and Pop. Let's just enjoy the music. Because when we do, we all win. And then we all get to give something to the next generation, which is great music, long-lasting legacies, and the inspiration to create better music for their time. You know what I'm saying? So, Nas, you want to take us out?
Yes, sir, man. This is all of us from A&N R&B. And until next time, we'll be thinking of you.
And with that being said, may the Most High help you prosper. May you be great. And we out.
Bye.